everybody, Durzo here. Well, having a little bit of a problem with my 2020 Ram Classic Night Edition. Still a beautiful truck. We love it. It's great. When we bought it, we asked for a certain number of accessories, expecting they would all be Mopar or Dodge approved, Ram approved, Chrysler approved, Fiat approved, whatever you want to call it. Technically, I could say Ferrari approved. Can't speak today, apparently. One of those accessories was a level. Now, there's sort of an accepted right and wrong way to level a 4th gen Ram. They have notoriously weak upper ball joints, you see. The right way to do it is to use something like a Bilstein 5100 adjustable strut, which is actually what they use in their 2-inch lift kit. You can raise the front of the vehicle up to 2.8 inches using that strut, and it limits the down travel to the exact same as factory. What I mean by down travel is how much that wheel can go down, whether it's from a bump or up on a hoist or what have you. The problem is what they used wasn't Bilstein's. They used, you can see it, there's a little bit of silver in there that you can kind of see. They used a 2-inch billet spacer to level it, which works. It drops the strut down, elongates it, and in essence gives you 2 inches of lift. Problem is, like I said, the strut is what's limiting the downward travel, which means that wheel can go down 2 inches more than it's supposed to, than what they designed it to do. Well, the big issue with that, it comes in, let's see if I can go to the other side, maybe we can get a better view. The issue with that is these ball joints. See, these ball joints don't have anything holding them in. They're just pressed. That's it. So now, when this control arm tries to drop down, it's fine up to a point. It hits that point, aka right around what would have been full droop, and that ball joint gets overstressed because it's locked into this knuckle. This part wants to stay perfectly still, perfectly straight, because it's locked into the knuckle. That means this part wants to stay perfectly flat and straight. This is angling down, and basically it acts like a pry bar right here and pops this right out. That's not good, because assuming that the ball joint here doesn't get murdered and sheared in half, this is now up and flopping around. So you've got inward, outward travel, fore and aft travel, and up and down travel as it wills. So you're going to wander, you're going to put a ton of extra stress onto this, which may actually break this control arm, which I don't want to think about what would happen if that happened. All kinds of extra stress on the lower ball joint, your CV shafts, and your tires. So yeah, that's not good. The solution, the redneck solution that the dealer is doing, is a temporary fix, because I'm going back stock. That was one of the options, and I said, yeah, let's do it. I'd rather keep my brand new truck safe than have a look, essentially, and a marginally better approach and breakover angle, is that they pressed in the ball joints and did these little tack welds to hold it in. Now, technically that'll work. That will keep it from popping. The problem is, now, well, where's all that stress going to go if it can't move this? It's going to go into this part. And if this part shears or breaks, there's now nothing holding this knuckle onto the control arm, which means this whole section is free to go in whatever direction it wants, and not by a little bit because of it being locked into this, like what happens if that pops. No. There is nothing holding this. That's when you get a wheel sitting down there on the ground. So, for what it's worth, it looks awesome, but you know what? For that 2 inches of lift, it's not worth it. Like I said, it's slightly better approach angle, breakover angle is a little bit nicer, but it's just not worth it. If I down the road decide to do anything, it will be with the Bilsteins. Basically what the Bilstein 5100s do is a preload level. So it puts more pressure onto the spring pushes back more, and it lifts the front of the truck. The difference between a preload spacer and the Bilsteins is there's no spacer to wear out with the Bilsteins. So for just longevity and comfort in that, and it changes all the valving in that as well, so it can keep a comfortable ride. It's just a better idea to use the Bilsteins. So, lesson learned. Next time, hopefully way down the road, when I go to get a vehicle, if I want accessories, make sure I ask specifically for certain types. Don't just assume that they're going to use what's right. So yeah, she's going to lose her level and be down 2 inches, but you know what? In the long run, it's going to be worth it. Who knows, maybe I'll lose my mind and just realize, hey, these things are too big to go off-road anyways around here. I mean, that's what I have to off-road in, is woods like that. Like, there's no wide open trails here. There's just not. So I'm not gonna take, 60,000 Canadian dollar truck and scratch the living crap out of it just because, you know what? I want to go over some hills. Like, no. So, I mean, I still gotta go through some farmers' fields and everything, but stock should be okay with that, especially with the skid plates and everything. But maybe I'll just lose my mind and drop the back for a level. I guess technically they call that a reverse level these days. Because, one, it doesn't hurt anything. These trucks have coils in the back, for those that don't know. And all that'll do with that 4-link, well, technically, yeah, it's a 4-link with a Panair part. Technically, all that'll do, because of how these move when they articulate, is it'll shove the whole rear end over a couple millimeters. That's it. But it'll still track straight. All the alignment will be good. The only problem is the spring rate on those coils is going to be a lot stiffer than what an aftermarket drop spring would be. So what I can have in the back, my tongue weight is probably going to be lessened. The other advantage of that, this is my head height. I'm holding the camera right at my eye level. I am not a tall person. I'll admit that. I am all of, with boots on, 5'5". Anything higher than that, and this truck is completely unusable to me. As a truck, I'd need a step ladder to get in, or it's not worth it. So dropping it 2 inches, well, that also makes the bed more usable and accessible for me. So, just some food for thought. We'll see what happens in the future. Anyways, that's all for now. We'll talk to you guys soon. Like I said in another video, I've got another D&D game coming up. Maybe give a little recap of what happens there. And, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Hudson says hi. And, we'll talk to you soon.